It's your friend Mel, and welcome to the Mel Robbins podcast. I am so glad that you're here. It is always an honor to spend this time together. And if you're new, or if somebody shared this episode with you, I just want to take a moment and personally welcome you to the Mel Robbins podcast family. Today, you and I are talking about the 3 traps that keep you stuck and how to finally get unstuck. And I just want to normalize the fact that I think everybody right now has something that's keeping them feeling a little lost or stuck, whether it's your career path or it's finances, or it's something going on in your relationship. And I want you to stop and think about this right now for yourself, because I want you to get something out of this. Where in your life do you feel a little stuck or a little lost or like you're spinning your wheels? Is it in your relationship? Is it at work? You're not quite sure where your career is going, or maybe you got laid off, or you don't like what you do anymore and you're not sure what to do next. Is it with school? You're not that interested in what your major is or what you're studying. You're wondering if all the student debt is worth it. Is it some project at home that's been nagging you forever? Is it thinking about that next chapter of your life? So now that you've kind of thought a little bit about where is that area of your life where you feel a little friction? Is it your health? You feel a little stuck with that? Is it some other area of your life? Now let's talk about the 3 traps that can make you feel stuck. Because until we identify which trap you're in, you will never, ever, ever move forward. You're just going to keep on spinning your wheels. The first trap that keeps you stuck is you're not ready to change. It's that simple. It sounds so obvious. It's almost dumb, right? But one of the reasons why it's so easy to get stuck is you're simply not ready to change. And that can happen for a number of reasons. You might not be ready to change because you're holding on to the past. You might not be ready to change because you regret a lot of things and you're punishing yourself over it. You may not be ready to change because you don't think it's going to work. And so you feel a lot of discouragement right now. This is an easy one, by the way, to spot in the people that you care about. You can look at somebody who's struggling with their drinking, or you can look at somebody who's been laid off and they're not really looking for a job. That is a person who's stuck in trap number 1. They're not ready to change. And the only way you get unstuck, if you're in trap number 1, is you have to make a decision to change, period. You have to decide that where you are is no longer okay with you. You don't have to know what you're going to do next. You don't have to have some master plan. You don't have to get to work right away. But without making a decision that I am going to do something different here, nothing's going to change and you're going to stay stuck. Because nothing changes until you change. And you change the moment you decide it's time to change. You got to have that moment where you say, all right, that's it. I've had enough. I am so sick of my own self. I am so sick of complaining about this. I'm so sick of being stuck in the past. I'm so sick of carrying around this extra weight. I'm so sick of being lonely and sad and not seeing my friends. Enough. I am making a decision to change. I want to make sure you really get this. And so here's what we're going to do in today's episode. You are my co-host. You and I are going to answer questions from your fellow listeners together. And as you're listening to the questions from your fellow listeners, I want you to pretend, as you're driving in your car or you're listening at work or you're taking me on a walk right now, I want you to pretend you're right here with me on the podcast and that you're listening to this question. The first one's going to be from Jenna, as if you're going to coach her with me. And I want you to really listen closely and see if you can hear what it sounds like when someone's stuck in the trap of not being ready to change. See if you can hear and identify in your own mind, what is the decision that Jenna needs to make that would break her free of feeling stuck?
Hi, Mel. Hoping you can help me out with this. Speaking of feeling stuck, I've been feeling that really heavy this year. Just turned 40, have 2 kids, a 2 and a 6-year-old. I'm feeling like I am meant to do more in this life. I love being a mom. I also work, but I feel like I need something that I can do, that I'm passionate about, that I can look forward to for work. I feel like there's this creative side of me that is been untapped and is ready to unleash. And then I get home and I get pulled in several different directions and I'm tired and I'm like, I don't have the energy today. So I don't know where to start. Can I do something now? Can I start something new now? How do I start this new adventure at this point in time in my life? Where do I begin? I want to use my creative side. Help me.
Now, as you were listening, did you notice the trap? The trap is she has not made a decision to change yet. And this one's kind of sneaky because she's talking about the fact, and you may feel this too, I feel like I'm meant to do something more. I feel this pull to do something creative. So she's thinking about it, and you can hear some of the reasons why she's not ready. I'm tired. I don't have the energy. Can I start something new? She's questioning, right? But did you hear a decision? I didn't hear a decision. I heard somebody who wants to change, but I didn't hear a person who has made a decision to change. And it's a very subtle distinction. But this is the difference between staying stuck and spinning your wheels in a mental loop and getting yourself unstuck and breaking free and making a decision to create a whole new chapter in your life. And look, the decision doesn't have to be complicated. It's like a line in the sand. What could Jenna say as you're sitting here hosting this episode with me? What could Jenna say? What would a decision sound like? It could be something simple like, I'm making a decision to make the next chapter of my career creative, no matter what. I'm making a decision that 12 months from now, I am going to be working in a creative industry. I'm going to have a full-time job, and I'm going to wake up every day, and I'm going to love and look forward to what I'm doing. That's my decision. Here's another way you could make the decision. This is the year I learn how to make time for what matters to me. Do you hear the difference between somebody questioning, I should, I could, what if, but this, but that? That's a person that's not ready. That's a person in contemplation. When you hear somebody make a decision, it's clear. Maybe a decision for you sounds like this. I'm losing 100 pounds. I'm applying and getting into nursing school. I am moving out of this noisy, cramped apartment. I'm going to meet someone I love in the next year, and I'm going to fall in love, and it's going to be incredible. There are decisions just waiting for you to make them. See, when you make a decision, you are claiming what you want. You're declaring what you want. I love the word decision. The word decision comes from a Latin word meaning to cut off. When you decide, when you make a decision, you're cutting yourself off from other possibilities. You're saying, this matters to me. And then you're locking in on it. And what I love is you're not casual when you make a decision. You have to be clear. And the best part about making a decision is you don't have to know how it's going to turn out. You don't have to know if it's even the right decision. The best way to make a decision is to make the decision and then work hard to make it the right decision. And when you make the decision, you are forcing your life to move in a different direction. Let's do one more question from a listener named Kristen, because I want you to really make sure you understand this first trap, that it's not being ready. And I also want you to understand how powerful one decision could be. So listen closely. And when we're done listening to her, I'm going to ask you the same question. Describe the trap she's in. Describe why she's not ready. And then we're going to talk about what is one decision that Kristen needs to make that would get her unstuck and help her break free. Here she is.
Hey Mel, my name's Kristen. I'm 42 years old. I am a divorced mom of 2 kids, and I am 100% stuck in my head. I literally cannot move forward. I am in this constant loop in my head of regret. Like I feel like I shouldn't have left my ex. I was always a high achiever at work. I functioned at a very high level for a very long period of time. And I can't seem to move forward. I can't get it back. I'm barely scraping by when it comes to that with work. I'm not understanding why the situation is what it is and how I can't seem to progress. So I appreciate your time and help.
That is a painful question to listen to, isn't it? Because you can feel the trap that she's in. And there's a couple things that I want to point out that I'm sure that you picked up on, and maybe you've experienced this yourself. Maybe somebody that you love is going through this. You know, when she said that she can't get out of the loop in her head that she's constantly stuck in. When she said that I feel like I shouldn't have left my ex, and that I am this constant loop of regret. That's what she's living in. That's the trap. She's not ready to change because her reality right now is regret. What is the decision that Kristen needs to make? Because there is so much power in a decision. If she's been living in regret in the constant loop over a breakup with her ex, in my mind, the decision is very obvious. You have to make a decision to move forward. You have to say, this next chapter of my life is going to be one of the best chapters of my life because I'm going to create that for myself. And in particular, when you're dealing with regret, the research is very clear on this. Daniel Pink is a multiple New York Times bestselling author and considered one of the most influential thinkers of our time. And recently, he led one of the largest studies ever on the topic of regret. And he says regret is not meant to bury you. It's not meant to punish you. It's meant to teach you something you need to learn. But you can only learn what regret has to teach you if you stop replaying things and start asking yourself, what is the regret trying to show you? As long as you keep looking backward, your life will never move forward. That's why you have to decide enough is enough. Change begins with a decision. And in Kristen's case, she has to decide that she's going to stop giving more time to her ex. I mean, it's been years now that she's given to this relationship that's over. The life that she keeps reaching for no longer exists. She has to turn toward the future and make a decision that she is going to move forward and she is going to do whatever it takes to create a life where she's happy. And the reason why I'm hammering the power of making a decision as the singular solution to the problem of being trapped, feeling not ready, feeling regretful, focusing on the past, convincing yourself actively that even if you tried to move forward, you'd never be as happy as you used to be. It's complete BS. The decision is what sets you free. It will give you something to build toward. And that is what will break you free from the trap of not being ready. Graduation is a big deal. In fact, my husband and I have seen all three of our kids graduate, and it's one of the most emotional and proud moments that you're going to have as a parent. I remember sitting there watching all three of them. You get a lump in your throat because in 1 second, you're seeing the little kid version of them, and then in the next second, you're watching them step into adulthood. It's emotional. And it's also that moment when you realize, wow, they're still going to need some real support. Apple gift card is such a great graduation gift because it gives the graduate in your life options when they need them most. They can use it for the tech that they need for school or for work. Apps are going to keep them organized, focused, and on top of life, fitness subscriptions. And then there's all the stuff that helps them recharge. Music, movies, podcasts, entertainment. I've learned something or two after doing graduation 3 times. If you're guessing about what to give them, you're wasting money and time. Instead of an engraved pen or a coffee mug that says the future looks bright, give them something they can use their way when they need it. Visit applegiftcard.apple.com to find the perfect graduation gift today. Let's dive into trap number 2, which is overthinking. Oh my gosh, this one will keep you stuck for decades. You can waste a lot of your life overthinking and worrying about things and never actually get going or started on the changes you want to make. Yes, you've made a decision that you want things to be different, but now you're stuck because you've fallen into the trap of overcomplicating your next move. There's a couple ways you're going to know that this is you. You're constantly thinking about it. You've got a million different ideas. You are busy in the research mode, but you never actually get into action. And one of the reasons why you're going to stay stuck in this place, spinning your wheels, some people do this for years, is because you have not simplified the thing that you want to be doing into a plan that you could do every single day. And by every single day, I mean, this has to be so simple that if you had 15 minutes a day, that you could work on this change or work on this goal or work on this thing that you want to accomplish, just 15 minutes a day. That's how simple this is going to be. Without that, your brain has nothing to aim at. See, you're just going to keep on saying, oh, I want a different job. I'd really like to be healthier. I want to feel better. I think I want to go back to school. I want more purpose in my life. I really know I'm meant for more, but I don't know what. I want more for everything. I want to meet somebody. But if somebody were to stop and ask you, okay, that's pretty clear. I can see that you'd like a new job. I can see that you'd like to be in better shape. How are you going to get there? What are you doing about it today? If I were to watch you on an average Tuesday, what is something that you're doing 15 minutes every Tuesday that would prove to me that you're not just thinking about this thing, but that you've got a plan and that every day you wake up and you spend 15 minutes on it? If you don't have it reduced to something so simple that you could do it every day for 15 minutes, then you're going to stay stuck in the trap of overcomplication. Because if you don't have what you're supposed to do simplified, it's going to be so easy to just sit up in your head. It's going to be easy to just freeze and do nothing. It's going to be easy to watch other people on social media doing the things that you're capable of. And this is a trap that ensnarls so many people. You're ready, but now you're overcomplicating everything. And so let's listen to another question. This one comes from Nate.
Hi, Mel. I was just laid off 2 weeks ago from a consulting firm, a small firm specializing in software and data engineering. I learned to code. Now realizing that's not panning out as I expected it to. What advice do you have for someone like me looking to figure out what's next? Like, what can we do for any sense of like stability, predictability?
You know what I love about Nate's question is he's feeling stuck because things didn't go according to plan, and he's looking for stability and predictability. And one of the best things about focusing on creating a simple plan and reducing the thing that you need to do to something as simple as 15 minutes a day of action, that gives you stability. The plan gives you a direction to point yourself into. Reducing it to 15 minutes of action a day, I call this the hot 15. You got 15 minutes to make a lot of progress on something. You'll be surprised how much those actions stack up. So since so many of you are looking for jobs right now, I want to address how you can break free from this trap of overcomplicating everything. Because when you have a wide open future, it's easy to start to feel paralyzed. And when the structure is gone and you no longer have the rhythm of your day to going to a job, you will start to overcomplicate everything and you're going to start to feel unmotivated and frozen. And the fact that there's so much that you can do is the problem. You have to reduce what you're going to do every day into a simple plan that gives you actions that you can basically start or complete in a 15-minute time block. Number one, you have to focus on money. Unless you're independently wealthy, you must take the time. In fact, take the next couple days, get a handle on your budget, get a handle on your savings, get a handle on how much money is going out on subscriptions. And this is a moment to tighten the belt. This is a moment to get very serious about what you have and what you don't have, because it gives you a picture of your expenses and, more importantly, the runway that you have to be able to look for a job and to network. So that's simplify number one. Simplify number two, and this is going to sound weird, is I want you to come up with a simple plan for how you're going to make yourself a better version of yourself while you're unemployed. What do I mean by that? Well, this is the perfect time for you to make yourself a project. Is this when you get in the best shape of your life? Is this when you commit to running the half marathon? Is this when you cut out sugar or alcohol? Is this when you read a book every week? Is this when you go back to therapy? Like, what is going to make you simplify this, the best version of you? And you never had time to do this, by the way, because you were always working and stressed out and too tired because of work, and you always had stuff with work, and so you couldn't do that. No. If we simplify the next 3 to 6 months into something that you're going to work on for yourself that makes you happier, that makes you feel more alive, that is the second thing we're going to simplify and do. And here's why. Because if you're happier, if you're working on something cool, if you feel stronger, if you're taking better care of yourself while you're networking and making this career pivot, you're going to be better in interviews. You're going to be more energized. You're going to have something to talk about. Something's going to light up inside of you that was not lit up in that job that was sucking your soul dry. And that's going to impact the type of work you find. And that brings me to the third simple plan you need. You have to create a formula that is very simple, that you're going to follow 4 to 5 hours a day, that will make you feel like you're doing everything you can to find a job. You will find jobs by networking with people. And if you were to spend every day, and your goal every day is to reach out to 5 people every day, that's what you do every day. We've simplified it. Within a week of reaching out to 5 new people every day, you will have a lot of meetings to do. You will start to feel momentum. You don't need to know what you're going to be doing for work yet. You just need to get moving. And this is so important because your job gave you structure. And creating a simple plan for the 5 actions you're going to take every day, and I recommend it's reaching out to 5 people every day because that starts to create forward momentum and meetings, and that is the beginning. It creates structure. It replaces the structure that your job had. And if you don't put structure in by creating a simple plan, you're going to be up in your head. You're going to be scrolling on social media. You're going to be forever stuck in the trap of overcomplicating and overwhelm, and you're not going to go anywhere. And you don't have to have that happen. Let's go to another question and go a layer deeper. This next question comes from Alex, and I want you to really listen. And let's see if you can spot how he's in a trap because he's overcomplicated things.
Hi, Mel. My name is Alex Olson. I feel stuck in a pattern of starting over and trying multiple career paths that don't work out or you end up being rejected. How can I stop myself from going down the wrong path again and repeating the same mistake? I just want to find happiness and stability with something that I look forward to every day.
I love this question. I also want to debunk this myth or belief that there's some singular stable path. I mean, even careers that people could trust they could do for the rest of their lives are being disrupted by technology and venture capital and all kinds of innovation right now. Everybody is going to be forced to reinvent themselves over and over and over again in their career. And so I would throw out the window this sense of stability, and I would embrace reality, which is you have experience and skills. You can market yourself to pivot your career anytime you're not really happy with what you're doing anymore. And I want to bring in some research from Stanford because there's a very interesting principle that is taught at Stanford University when it comes to career change that I think is really going to make you feel less stuck. 2 professors from Stanford, their names are Dave Evans and Bill Burnett. They have created this incredible course at Stanford called Designing Your Life. They have been teaching this course for over 2 decades. It is a rigorous method that helps you create the next chapter of your life. And it's so effective that it is now taught, this curriculum, Designing Your Life, at 600 universities around the world. Now, Professors Evans and Burnett, they came on the Mel Robbins podcast, and they talked about this tool that they use in the life design curriculum called the Odyssey Plan. And the whole idea is this: you've got to stop putting so much pressure on yourself to figure out the one perfect path, because here's the headline. There isn't one path. There are so many possible versions of a good life. In fact, this is what Professor Dave Evans said that's always going to stick with me. There's no such thing as getting it right, just getting it going. That's it. There's no such thing as getting it right, just getting it going. And trusting yourself that once you get going, that you will figure it out. You don't need to know if the direction that you're choosing is the perfect one. Now, in their course at Stanford, Professors Evans and Burnett, they call this act of making a decision and just get going prototyping, which is basically a fancy way to say, stop treating every decision like it's permanent. Treat it like a series of small experiments. And it sounds like, as you've listened to Alex's question, that's what his career's been. That's what most people's careers are these days. That's why you've got to experiment. Simplify it. Try the class. Take the meeting. Apply for the job. Volunteer for the project. Shadow somebody. Go on the trip. Test the idea. See how it feels. You build clarity by trying things. You build confidence by moving. You get stuck by overcomplicating. You get stuck by questioning whether you should try something. You start doubting yourself by getting in that loop in your head. Remember, you don't have to get it right. You just have to get going and then simply trust your ability to figure it out, because that's how you get out of trap number 2. overcomplicating things. You've got to make a plan and get going.